All right, well, welcome to Module 1 of creating your prospect list. I'm going to be your guide through this process step by step. I'm glad you made the decision to really treat this seriously because it's a serious topic. If you don't have people to talk to, you don't have a quality business. And as we know from the surveys that we've done, this is the biggest issue. So congratulations for doing that. Well done, you. Let's get started. And the first thing you need to do, if you haven't done so already, is you need to print out the Ultimate Memory Jogger Workbook. Print out the Ultimate Memory Jogger Workbook and have that in front of you. So if you haven't done that already, pause this video now, print the workbook out, and have it in front of you, and then let's continue, okay? So I'm going to assume that you have it in front of you. This is the work part of what we do inside of network marketing. This isn't as fun. This is a little bit more labor intensive. But as my friend Harvey McKay taught me, it's one of the most important skills you can develop. And it is a skill. Inside of network marketing, a lot of people think, well, if I just have lots of friends, I'm going to do well. Or if I have a big list of people, and it's a natural list, and everybody loves me, and everybody wants to do business with me, then I'm going to make a lot of money. And if they don't, or if I have a small list, then I'm not going to make a lot of money. And that's really not true. What's true is the people in network marketing, the professionals, treated this as a skill, not as a natural resource. In other words, it doesn't matter where you start. What matters is where you end up. Now, as we go through this memory jogger, we're going to need to kind of go deep. And you're going to end up creating an active candidate list. What I mean by an active candidate list is this list, what most people do in network marketing is they make a list of, say, 100 people, and then they start to drain that list, and their anxiety goes up and up and up as they drain the list. Well, what the professionals do is they make a list, and then they're constantly adding to that list. They think of somebody. They look at the flowers that are sitting at my table here. They look at the flowers, they go, oh, who's been in the floral business, or who else loves flowers? Oh, and they jot that name down. They have that memory jogger with them all the time. They jot it down. They run into somebody that they hadn't seen in years and hadn't thought of in years, and they write it down. Somebody reaches out for them and connects to them on social media, and they write it down. We're going to do a specific module just on social media, but they write it down. Somebody gives them a phone call, and they hadn't thought about that person. They write it down. They read a book, and it makes them think of somebody, and they write it down. They're constantly adding to that list, constantly. But the beginning part of what we're going to do here is we're going to create and empty out your mind onto paper. Got to empty your mind onto paper. And at the beginning of this memory jogger book, you've got basically an excerpt from my book that's coming out soon, Go Pro, How to Become a Network Marketing Professional, which walks through the steps of what you need to do in order to be able to create your candidate list. Now, I'm going to walk through the sections, and I want you to just be thinking about this because a lot of people, their mind gets a little bit blurry halfway through this. But as I go through this, I want to do with you, I want to work with you like I would work with somebody that I personally sponsored and wanted to see successful. We were sitting across the table face to face. Okay, fair enough? So if we are sitting here with this memory jogger, which you should do with your people, by the way, I'm going to say, listen, let's start your list with your father, your mother, father-in-law, mother-in-law, grandparents, children, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins, extended family. Let's just start with family. How far can we go on family? And some people say, well, I don't even want to involve my family. That's not the point. The point is their name goes on the list. Because when their name goes on the list, it's going to empty out a space in your brain where another person can pop in. When you put the name down, it's going to make you think of the people that they know. And all of a sudden, your list starts to itself become a little bit of a viral growing thing. So we start with family. Just go. Okay? Second category are lists you already have. This is a big one, and it's going to take some time. your hand's going to get tired. And there's some other tools that you can use beyond a written memory jogger list. There's tools, you can use technology, et cetera, et cetera. I would suggest you go through the exercise of using the tools to do this. That would be my suggestion. I think that will end up serving you better. But the second one are lists you already have. Do you have a current address book or an online contact manager? Take those people, put them on the list. Do you have, all of you have email address lists, whether they're organized or not, people you've sent emails to and received emails from. Go into your email provider or the email software that you have and pull out those people, add them to the list. Your cell phone, pull your cell phone out and literally take every single person that's in that cell phone and put them on the list. Do you send out holiday cards? Put them on the list. Do you have a wedding invitation list or a birthday list? Put them on the list. Do you have business cards stacked up someplace? Take those business cards, put them on the list. Now here's the big one. Social media. The people you actually know, your friends that are really friends on Facebook, put them on the list. If you know them, they don't need to be close friends, but if you know them, they know you, put them on the list. LinkedIn, Plaxo, Twitter, Skype, other. Go through all of those and put them on the list. Your list is getting big, big, big. We've provided space in this memory jogger with your master candidate list for about 500 names. You can print out extra pages. We just didn't want to create 1 million pages inside of this workbook. But some of you are going to end up with 500 people. Some of you are going to end up with 1,000 people. Some of you are going to end up with 100 people. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. It's a starting point. But this is the work at the beginning, is creating this list, right? So those are the lists you already have. Any other lists you already have from whatever source. If you have a list of alumni, people that you've gone to school with, or a list of people who are involved in some different organization or church registry or whatever, put them on the list. If you know them, they go on the list. Next is your closest friends, people you associate with regularly. Your friends and neighbors, people you work with, church members, hobby buddies, camping friends, dancing class associates, drawing class, fantasy football league friends, fishing buddies, hunting buddies, karate class, singing class, sculpting, woodworking, workout friends. People you play with, bowling, football, golf, racquetball, tennis, volleyball, any other game. Start thinking about all of those people. Add them to the list, add them to the list, add them to the list. Now understand, we're just through the first 3 categories, and this is a lot of work. When this video turns off, you've got a lot of work to do. But it's life work. Understand, it's life work. We're going to decide how we're going to prospect these people, or if we're going to prospect these people after the list is created. But we got to get the list created and started, and then we're going to constantly be adding. Harvey McKay's done this since age 21. He has 14,000 people in a physical Rolodex. 14,000 people that he can reach out to, because every single person he's come into contact with, he gets their contact information, he finds a creative way to stay in touch. So imagine if you had 14,000 people that you could approach whenever you felt like it, in whatever way you felt like it. So don't worry about how you're going to approach them, or if you're even going to approach them. Just make the list. Next, people you do business with. Where's your money go? Your auto mechanic, your accountant, your banker, babysitter, child care provider, car dealer, dentist, doctor, dry cleaner, grocery, gas station that you go to regularly, housekeeper, insurance, lawyer, merchants, pharmacist, real estate agent, travel agent. Think about those people, write them down. You're doing business with them. It's very easy to say, listen, I do business with you. I'd like you to take a look at a business that I do and give me your opinion, or I think this would be great for you. You could diversify your income. You could be looking for extra cash flow, or when I thought of somebody that could be great at this, I thought about you, or you're not a prospect, but you know people. I want to share this with you. So those you do business with. Now, other people you're connected with. Who's your architect, association members, bus driver, butcher, baker, computer technician, children's friends' parents, chiropractor, club members, delivery person, FedEx, UPS driver, fireman, florist, jeweler, leasing agent, mailman, minister, pastor and their wife, pet groomer, photographer, police, property manager, sports team members, your kids and their parents too. Tailor, veterinarian, waitresses, waiter, water supplier. So that's just page one. Okay, you think about that. I'd say, people say, well, I don't know anybody. Once I go through this exercise with them, they realize pretty quick that they know more people than they thought. And again, this is work. Again, this is going to take effort. Again, this is going to separate you from the non-professionals in the business. But it's worth it. Developing these relationships, that's the juice of life anyway. Most of these people you may never even talk to about your business. Doesn't matter. But at least you're going to start this life work of figuring out a way of who are the important people in your life and what's a creative way to stay in touch. And eventually your product or your opportunity will probably end up touching those people if you find a way to build on that relationship. And, okay, we're going to talk more about that. Those you've been associated with in the past, former coach, co-workers, roommates, teachers, people in your hometown, you maybe moved away, previous neighbors, people in the military, retired co-workers, schoolmates, who is your boss, those types of things. Those you've been associated with. Then you got who sold you something. Who sold you your air conditioner, your boat, business cards, camper, car, truck, computer, cell phone, dishwasher, laundry machine, equipment, supplies, fishing license, furniture, glasses, contacts, house, hunting license, refrigerator, tires, auto parts, TV, stereo, vacuum cleaner, wedding item. Anything. Who sold you anything? Add them to the list. You feeling a little irritated yet? Are you feeling like, gosh, is he really going to go through every single one of them? Yes, I am. You want to have unlimited people to talk to. Step one is empty your brain on paper. This memory jogger is giving you tools to be able to do that. Giving you tools to be able to create a foundation. Then you're going to be adding to people. If you want, well, give me some fancy approach so you can just give me a list of people that I don't know and then I can call those people. Come on. That's just avoidance behavior. That's fear-based thinking. One, let's figure out a way to get everybody on paper. Two, let's figure out the best approach for each one of those people. So, next, I know individuals who are actively looking for a part-time job, are ambitious, are enthusiastic. This is a psychographic type of thing. They're entrepreneurial, they're caring people, they're champions, they're fun, they're friendly, they're fundraisers, they're goal-oriented, they're natural leaders, they're organized, positive thinking, they're motivated, self-motivated. They're a single mom, they're a single dad, they're team players, they're your kid's friend's parent. They may be interested in your product or service. They don't like their job, they've been in network marketing, they have character and integrity. Who do you know that has character and integrity? Add them to your list. They have kids in college. They have computer or internet skills. They have a dangerous job. They've got desire or drive. They have a great smile. They have to pay down their credit card debt. They have public speaking skills. They just got married. Just graduated. They just had a baby. They just quit a job. Or they're out of work. They love a challenge. They love to learn new things. They want to help their spouse retire early. Think about all these people. And I got to thank my wife, Marina. She's the one who compiled this master, awesome, amazing, ultimate memory jogger list. It's a lot of work putting this all together. But they love a challenge. They love to learn new things. Who wants to make more money? Who wants more time with their families? Who wants to work for themselves? Who attends self-improvement seminars? Who hates their job? Who bought a new home or a new car recently? Who enjoys being around high-energy people? Who needs a new car and a new home? Who reads self-development books or books on success? Who do you like most? Who have you met while you've been on vacation? Who have you met while you're on an airplane? Who do your friends know? Who wants freedom? Who wants to go on vacation? Who works too hard? Who works at night? Who works weekends? So you're starting to, like, Ryan, oh my gosh, okay, we're going to go through this. You're serious. This is everything. Yeah, it's everything. It's everything. If this is work to start, it's probably going to take you a day. It's going to take you 24 hours to be able to create this foundation. But isn't that a pretty good 24 hours to spend for you and your organization, you and your downline? Versus this mental list of 10 people that they're going to talk to and be suicidal if they don't join. or this written list of 30 people that they're going to put their whole life on the line, I think you're going to find that it's true that the bigger your list grows, the lower your anxiety, the lower your fear. You worry less about, there isn't so much weight on any one particular person. Okay? I know someone who is an accountant, actor. Who do you know that's an actor? I know, as soon as I think about that, certain people come to my mind. Who's in advertising? An architect, airline attendant, alarm system agent, army officer, acupuncturist, baker, banking, barber, baseball, basketball, beauty salon, broker, builder, cable, camper, chiropractor. I'm not going to go through everything, but because there's 100 plus of just different occupations. Salon, broker, builder, cable, camper, chiropractor. I'm not going to go through everything, but because there's 100 plus of just different occupations. But think about each one and say, okay, who do I know that's a dentist? Dental assistant. Go through the whole thing. And, immediately people come to my mind as soon as I think about that. Who's your dry cleaner? How about a doctor, somebody who works in the medical profession in any capacity? Anybody who works for the government? Who's a hairdresser? Who's a handyman, handy person? Write it down. So that goes for 100 categories at least. Now, I want you to expand your mind and think about who do you know that's outside of your hometown? Who do you know from a different state? Who lives, if you're in the United States, who lives in a different state from your state? And we've listed all the states in the United States for you to be able to go, okay, those people. Now here's a one that a lot of people might be confused on. Let's say you work with a company that operates in one country. I have a whole category here. Who do you know from different countries? Who do you know? And it goes from A to Z. Every country in the world is listed in this book. And why did I do that? I did that because even if you're not in those countries, if I ask, for example, do you know anybody in Brazil? Well, yeah, I do. Guess what that person in Brazil probably knows? Somebody in your country. You can contact that person and say, hey, listen, I'm expanding my business here in this country. Who do you know that might be interested? Yeah, if they're open in that country, fantastic. But if they're not, they know people. You can call them using a super indirect approach. No problem. So again, think about who do you know in Canada? Who do you know in Brazil? Who do you know in China? Who do you know in Colombia? Who do you know in Kenya? It doesn't matter what the country is. Think about who that is and get their names on paper. And after you've gone through all of this, and it's a lot of categories, it's going to be some work, and you're going to feel a little bit bogged down, but it's worth it. After you've gone through all of this, then you need to do the second degree of separation, which you'll see at the beginning of the workbook when I talk about the steps, step 1, 2, 3, 4, is to think about who are the people you take a look at your list. Now you have your list in front of you. And you have Bob on the list. And think about, who does Bob know? Write those people down. Oof. Because you know those people too, otherwise you couldn't even think of them. Who does Sue know? I'll write it down. Who does Roger know? Write it down. Who does Mary know? Write it down. Oh my gosh, really? We're going to do this? I'm going to have 1,000 people on your list. Well, congratulations. You're going to have 1,000 people and you can decide at your pleasure how you're going to do it. Now, once you've created this list and you've got your master list created, I've created some subcategories in the back of the booklet. Two different things are in the back of the booklet after your master candidate list. The first thing is at the very back of the booklet is the entire book of the hottest recruiting scripts in MLM and the 8-step invitation process. So everything is right there. So you can use the 8 steps to be able to make an invitation. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull this up so I got it in front of me. Okay. So, the first of these subcategories is what we call the hot candidate list. Hot. Hot market, warm market, cold market. Okay? Hot market is your family and your very close friends. Family and close friends. I created 3 pages so you can make about 60. You can put about 60 people on this list. For those people, you're going to want to use specific approaches, support approach, an indirect approach, using support, help, guidance, can I practice on you, those types of things, and you'll see that in the back of this booklet using that approach, a very specific approach for support, friendship, family, to be able to have the best possible chance of those people taking a look. Okay, so that's the first sub-list. So you're going to look at your master list, you're going to create your hot candidate list. The second is the people who you want to lead with the product, your product. They may be more product-oriented, product-minded, maybe for whatever reason. You'll decide as you look through. I want to lead with the product with these people. And you create that sub-list. Then the next sub-list is your best opportunity candidates. Who are the people who are ambitious, money-motivated, dissatisfied, coachable, those types of things? Put your best on that list. And we're going to work on creating an approach for each one of those. Then we've got subcategories for people you're going to use a direct approach with, people you're going to use an indirect approach with, people you're going to use a super indirect approach with. The super indirect might be your chicken list, the super indirect approach. So you're going to create the master candidate list, and you're going to make these sub-lists, and then you're going to go to work. You're going to start making your contacts. You're going to start doing what needs to be done. Now, creating this list is important work. It's powerful work. It's work that will make a huge difference for you. But it's just the beginning. The real key for this is once you've emptied your mind on paper, you've really gone through this, and go through it every once in a while, go through it again, because you'll maybe think of people that you didn't think of the first time. Once you've done that, then what you need to do is just work on adding 2 people a day. Figure out a way, add 2 people a day. Every single day. Get good service someplace, add that person. Somebody sells you something, add that person. Just constantly adding 2 a day. Because 2 a day is what? 600 a year. Over the course of 5 years, it's 3,000 people. So I hope you got value from this. I know you're going to get value from the Memory Jogger workbook. The next video, module 2, which you can watch as fast or as slow as you want to, is how do you bring a burned out market back to life? People who maybe you made some mistakes in how you approach them. Okay? So I hope you got value from this. Tune in for the next one, and then the chicken list, and then converting social media friends into prospects. We're going to talk about that in separate modules. Okay? Hope you got value. Go look at the rest. See ya. Bye.